Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Inez joining me. Hi, Inez.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, everyone.
So guys, we have a really exciting video of how to make him instantly obsessed with you. So we are going to talk about how to recreate somebody. We've got an excellent technique as well as we'll throw some affirmations in near the end of the video. Just before we dive in, if you are looking for any help finding your blocks and getting some awesome personalized affirmations, Inez is available for coaching. The link is in the description below. And if you would like to ask me, Amanda, a question, definitely check out the Patreon. I do answer those questions once a month on the YouTube lives. And guys, we are still having a contest. When we get to 100,000 subscribers, we're giving away 3 free video coaching sessions of your choice with the coach of your choice. All you need to do to enter is to share our videos, subscribe, and then comment. What have you actually manifested using the law of attraction? Now, one thing that I will say we know right now is that YouTube is having a known issue about commenting on videos. So if you do have a problem commenting on any videos at all, email YouTube with the help. Okay, so it's been a known issue since July, and we've had people ask if we've deleted comments, and we don't delete success stories at all. We want you to post them. So if you're not able to comment, then email YouTube. They have an open ticket for it. Okay. Awesome. So Inez, welcome. I'm excited. We've got a success story.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for having me. So yeah, like one of my success stories, it happened so fast. It took like one session. So like my client came to me and she was like having trouble with recreating her specific person. She actually took Ani's Get Your Manifest SP Now course, but she still had like some blocks that she wanted to resolve. And so she came to me and told me that, yeah, like her specific person was very rude to her, wasn't really nice, and actually was a player. And told her like, I think it's best if we just don't have each other like contacting each other and seeing each other in our lives. And she actually had him unblocked as well. And so we started recreating him and working through those blocks of, if we want to focus on the best version of him, we're going to have to like see him as a new version as well. And so I started giving her some really nice affirmations and she started applying it. And I even told her to unblock him as well. And after that session, 2 hours later, he actually contacted her, which was really cool. And then I just recently had a session with her not too long ago, and she told me that everything has been improving with her and her specific person, that he's actually like making future plans with her right now.
That is so awesome. I love that. I really, really love that. You know what, you mentioned an interesting point. People always ask us, I've blocked him. Should I unblock him or her, right? And the answer is always yes. And you mentioned it earlier when we were talking. If you're living from the end, you wouldn't have them blocked if you had the relationship that you wanted, right? So very, very important. So yeah, maybe talk a little bit about living from the end. How would one do that in their situation when their current reality isn't matching what they are wanting to manifest?
I usually tell my clients, everything that you don't like that's happening right now, I mean, it just comes to show that it's still working out. I mean, it's just something that you kind of created and it's not in your favor. And it's like you're learning to let go of that reality of how he used to be and how the relationship between y'all is. And we worked on like, this relationship is already perfect as it is right now, because like Amanda said, if you were living in the end with this relationship, you wouldn't even think about blocking them. Like you guys will stay communicating with each other and just keep expanding that idea. Like, okay, if I was in this relationship, what would we be talking about together? Like future plans, maybe even living together, going on dates. Like these things will already be there. You're just leveling up, I would say, your own manifesting skills when it comes to your relationship, including your self-concept, because I know some people have trouble with their self-concept when it comes to like manifesting their specific person. So I would say work on your self-concept and then focus on your relationship as well afterwards.
Exactly. So one of my famous techniques that I've always liked to talk about when we come to recreating people, because everyone is you pushed out. So what we mean by everyone is you pushed out is actually, I was reading a quantum physics article on Google the other day about how they've actually found evidence that your entire reality is just quantum mirrors. So basically everything's just constantly reflecting back to you. So how that works is when you have a thought, right, your thought is light and it travels at the speed of light. That's why everything is instant. So to make him instantly obsessed with you, you just say, he's instantly obsessed with me, right? So so when we have a thought, right, in my mind, it sits there and it vibrates in my mind, and then it shoots out to the person that I'm thinking of. So if I'm thinking for Jerry to call me, then when I think it shoots into Jerry, and Jerry's like, oh, I should call Amanda, right? And it's instant in that moment, right? The only thing that will slow it down is our beliefs, maybe thinking that circumstances matter, maybe a contrary story that Jerry never makes me a priority, or he's always working, or he's always busy. So a really good technique for this is to write down all your complaints about the person, all your complaints, and then cross out each one and change them into what you actually want. And then add to that, get your list ready. So when you go to do your mental diet throughout the day, you've already sort of pre-thought out the things that you want, rather than trying to figure it on the spot. Because when you start a mental diet about something, there is static in your head. It hurts a little bit because you're actually rewiring the wires in your brain. You're making those electrons actually reconnect in different ways. So you get yourself rolling by doing that list, or if you like writing. But the one thing you can't do is just do intentions and write them 3 times a day and then think negative the rest of the day about it. You've got to be on those thoughts as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I love how you put that as well, because we have so many, apparently we have billions of neurons in our head. So you can only imagine all the rewiring you're doing just to recreate even like your own relationship, because you've been still stuck with the idea that all relationships are so difficult for you. It's so painful. Like love, I'm scared to have love again. Like rather than choosing faith that all possibilities are there, and you're just learning not to yell at the mirror because you're not seeing results or getting it your way. Because I know people, they kind of want to mess with the mirror even though it's all coming within themselves. Like
Yeah.
I think
So
Amanda,
easy
you
to
actually,
forget.
yeah, and like I like that one thing that you said one time, Amanda, where you're like, you can't make the mirror comb your hair. Like
Yeah,
you have
it's
to.
just trying to comb your hair in the mirror, right? It's like, and that's what, having the relationship talk is like, we're yelling at the mirror, for my hair to look better, or, anything like that. Like, and it's so easy to change things when we're not reacting to it, right? So like I created that Andrew like turns all the lights on the house. Well, guess what happened an hour later? Like every single light was on. And there's me reacting, right? And then of course saying anything to him, he's like, I'll try to remember. Of course you won't, because it's still on my story, right? So I know it's a silly thing to be, upset about, but you know what? We're human, right? So, when it comes down to he always turns lights off when he's done in the room, and to start focusing on that and not making what is showing up such a big deal. I think too, sometimes people are scared to talk about the current reality, but it's okay to say, this is what my current reality is, if we're going to identify what we need to change in it, okay? Because it's already playing out. If it's already playing out, there's nothing wrong with talking about it, but you want to talk to somebody like a coach, that is going to be able to direct you on to what you want, because you've got to finish those thoughts. You can't just focus on what you don't want. You have to acknowledge what you don't want. So you have to talk about it, think about it, but then only enough to actually figure out what you want, because we get what we only know what we want from what we don't want. That's where we start from, right? How do we know what we want? Because we know what we don't want. So we've just got to take it the next step, right?
Yeah, and I love how you said to make a list of like some intentions that you don't like from your relationship, or maybe your self-concept, whatever it is that you think you need to work on, and like cross those out and start making a list of the things you want to experience with you having this relationship, your specific person, because you're the most powerful like person in your own reality. Like anything is possible for you to achieve and be successful from. You're just learning to just change your old thoughts out of your own mind and creating new ones. More
Exactly. New thoughts, new things. So some intentions, for a relationship is, it's like we're always making future plans together, right? He's instantly obsessed with me and he's constantly texting me, right? Oh, I like that one.
I love that.
Always work out for me. Right?
Yeah, and like tell yourself that it's the most easiest thing to manifest when it comes to your specific person. I know it sounds silly because maybe you weren't really training yourself that way, but the more that you affirm it, the easier it does get. And anytime you think about your specific person, you'll start noticing like a different shift of viewing them. And
Right, exactly.
yeah.
You know, the most powerful intentions that you're going to do are going to come from your complaints. And, you know, so it's like what intentions work for you depends on what your complaint is. So say, for instance, you might be Jerry and he's got baggage. He's got baggage. So then, you know, what I would say is Jerry's over his baggage and ready to have a relationship with me. I mean, if your complaint is that they're always busy and they never make you a priority, then, you know, your magic intention is going to be is they're always time for me and they make me a priority and they just drop everything for me. So you want to take a look at what your complaints are. It's so incredibly important because you've already created, you've got to acknowledge them to actually change them over, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like honestly, like start making a list of little manifestations of everyone that you pushed out with like your family, your friends, coworkers, whoever that you don't really have so much attachment to. And when you see it being played out in the background, you know that the entire time you've been affirming with your SP, he's been picking up all of those intentions, the loving ones. We're not going to focus on the bad version of them anymore. And the more that you keep and the more you keep persisting into that new desired person, the quicker he's going to show up as that person.
Exactly, exactly. So guys, these are all amazing things, you know. I mean, so yeah, do the list, right? Do the list to recreate the person, okay? And you know, Inez pointed something out very important is work on your self-concept in relation to relationships. So relationships always work out for me. I always get what I want. It's easy to manifest my specific person. You know, do those intentions as well, you know, and then, oh, great. I remember what I wanted to mention is, you know, don't put circumstances in the way of manifesting. So this may be something you're doing is, okay, you know what, I need to lose 5 pounds. Okay, well, no, you don't. It's not linear. You don't have to lose 5 pounds before you get that relationship. You can have the relationship now and still lose the 5 pounds after or at the same time. So things don't have to happen in an order. So it's called double binding yourself in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming terms, is, you know, we say, okay, well, we've got to do this before we're going to get that, but it doesn't have to be that way. And then also, like, if anyone's got that sort of self-concept where they want to look better, change the way that they look so they can get what they want, all you're doing is creating yourself more work, because you can just say, I can have everything that I want right now because right now I'm perfect. I'm not saying don't work on yourself. If you want to work on yourself, then work on yourself. I mean, me, myself, I've lost a ton of weight and I'm happy about it. But I didn't say that I needed to do that before I would have a happy relationship, right? You know, or I didn't say that I needed to do that before you done.
Yeah. It's so important to know that you're perfect as you are right now, because you really are. And like there's nothing wrong with like getting back into the gym. Like go for it. But just know that your specific person sees you like amazing. Like you're like the most beautiful person that they've ever laid eyes on. And they will eventually see you that way while you're working on yourself at the same time.
Exactly, exactly. So awesome, guys. Yeah, do that list, okay? That little list like Inez mentioned, and to recreate the person, you know, write down everything about them, and you know what, start changing the stuff that you want to change about them, and then focus on that new list and read it a few times so that when your thoughts do throughout the day and you catch them, you already know what you're going to start to say, kind of bypass that static a little bit. And then, you know what, if you really, really persist, honestly, things happen instantly. But if you persist in actual diet and listen to yourself, by blocks, by listening and going, I really want to create that when you have a thought, and then change it, you can really push through this like in no time. Like people like Nez's client, 2 hours, you know, unblocked, started talking from the end, you know, had a great session, you know, and really saw what she wanted, and things shifted within hours for her. So you guys, this can be instant, or it can take a long time. You're the one that's in control of that time. This is all you. I'll do it. So I can say everybody has a breakthrough on watching this video and the results in their life. So we definitely want that. So thank you so much, Inez, for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you for having me again.
Oh, anytime. Guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.